My wife began to become distant from me around a year ago. I assumed it was due to stress, her new work, and her attendance at an online college. Around February, I resolved to make a concerted effort to mend our relationship. I figured she needed someone to look after her. I began doing all of her food shopping, cleaning, washing, giving her money so she could have a nicer lunch, taking her out on dates, purchasing her items, and so on. I hoped that this would relieve her tension and bring our connection closer together. The only thing I ever asked her to do was take out the garbage, and she refused. She hasn't taken out the trash in 3 weeks. I felt like I was being petty by not taking it out, but I thought I was doing everything else, and that was one chore I assigned to her. As the months passed, I began to suffer from a severe sinus infection. I saw several physicians and spent thousands of dollars on their services, but none of them could figure out what was wrong with me. I began to get behind in my housework. I asked my wife if she might assist me, but she did nothing. We had a disagreement over it once before she left work one day. She stated that she will get to it eventually and sees no need to be concerned. My condition deteriorated with time, and my wife paid little attention to me. I began to suspect that she could be seeing someone else. I asked her whether she's seeing anybody else one night. She tells me she would never do that, and we have a lovely 2-hour talk. She claims she's only stressed and that she'll be a better wife as a result. The following 2 weeks are actually rather promising. She starts cooking, cleaning, paying attention to me, and so on. But then I got that feeling again one night. I eventually take her phone when she's sleeping. I felt bad about it since I trusted her more than anybody else, but I needed to know. I proceed to see thousands of texts to a married coworker. Fortunately, the texts are not very filthy and appear to be what someone in high school would text someone. There is some romantic chat, and I do notice one text in which they are making plans around my schedule so he can come into my home. After I finish this, I wake her up and demand explanations. She says she needs to leave and that she can't talk to me right now. She goes for the night to see her sisters after some ranting back and forth. I can't sleep at all right now. I summon a few pals who come over to console me. The next day, I finally get her on the phone and she admits to cheating on me. When I ask her what she wants to do, she claims she has no idea. When I ask whether she wants to be with me, she responds she's not sure. We'll be in touch during the following few days. She claims she broke off all communication with the guy and is determined to make it work. I meet with her again and urge her to bring her phone bill to show that she hasn't been talking to him. Hundreds of SMS have been sent to his phone number. When I question why she can't stop lying, she answers she has no idea. When I ask if she loves him, she claims she does. When I ask whether she loves me, she answers yes, but she can't choose between us. The following few meetings, I perform the pick-me dance. She is becoming increasingly distant at this point, but she insists on making things work. She claims she isn't seeing him, but I know she reserved a hotel room for 3 days the prior weekend. We have one more phone chat and decide to go no contact till we figure out what we want to do. A few days later, on my birthday, I decide to call it quits and contact a lawyer. I text her and beg to chat, but she answers and never wishes me a good birthday. I learn that she booked a hotel room for that night. The next day, she texts me to say she needs more time to consider and to wish me a happy belated birthday. At this point, I'm enraged and need to talk to someone else. I discover that she had been having an affair with someone else soon before we married. At this point, I believe she still believes we have a chance to reconcile. I know she's just been talking to this man and going out with him at this point. In fact, she spoke with him for 7 hours straight one day. So Reddit, is this woman really just a bad person? Are they engulfed in fog? Or it could be something else. We've been together since 2012, and we have 2 little daughters that are 100% my, born between 2013 and 2015. In September 2016, my wife experienced some postpartum depression and became good friends with a buddy of mine, David. David was a kind enough individual. Didn't work, but he was always there when you needed him and trustworthy. Or so I thought. My wife started going on long walks with the dog and other things, and I became suspicious when she became too guarded of her phone. She said it was to clear her head and spend some time alone away from the children, which I fully respected. Then one day she indicated that David would accompany her. I kept my calm, but my heart was pounding with fear. A few days later, at 4 a.m., my curiosity got the best of me, and I saw she had left her phone on charge on the countertop instead of under her pillow, as she had been doing for the previous several weeks. So I began reading the texts between them. I discovered they were having an affair behind my back, but the texts clearly claimed that they had simply kissed and had no intimacy, etc. I sat there for 3 to 4 hours looking through them and taking screenshots to send to myself. I presented the proof to my wife, and she ultimately broke down and revealed everything. I left after a furious argument with David outside his house at 7 a.m., during which he refused to open his front door. I rushed to my mother's house, heartbroken, believing I'd lost my wife and children. But after only a few hours, Layla called me, distraught, and requested me to come over for a conversation. I agreed. We made up when she apologized. In December 2023, we are still together, married, and our 2 daughters are growing up. But the entire thing still bothers me now and then. We don't talk to David anymore since I chased him away, but every time I hear his name, it brings back memories. I trust my wife once more. I no longer doubt what she is doing or who she is dating. But am I done with it? I honestly have no idea. If they had intimacy, I would not have forgiven her. Is kissing considered cheating? Is it awful that I'm still thinking about it after 7 years? Please assist. For those who are wondering about our age difference, it is 3 years and 1 month. Now the next story. We are both in our mid-30s, have known each other for 10 years, and have been married for 5 years. I discovered 2 days ago that my wife has been cheating on me with a coworker while she travels on business trips. They've gone on 4 to 6 vacations together, so I'm sure they have plenty of free time. According to what I know, the relationship with the AP was more physical than emotional. Our relationship had some rough patches, but nothing that would excuse this. Since 2 days, I've been completely damaged and troubled. I can't act properly around her and have been sobbing all the time. My wife is wondering what's wrong, but I haven't told her that I'm aware of the situation. I intend to make it public as soon as possible. I doubt she'll just admit she's wrong, but I have audio evidence. Please let me know if you have any advice since I am quite worried. I'm at a loss for words, yet I'm terrified of the future and can't decide if I want divorce or forgiveness. All of my hopes and ambitions have been dashed. How do you people deal with the emotional anguish? I've been sobbing every few hours for the past 2 days. Has anyone ever completely forgiven their spouse and lived happily ever after? I hear individuals forgiving their spouse, but it never works out in the long run. I also have a concern about divorce in case I go that route. What if she moves all of her money from her accounts to someone else in her family before I file for divorce? I just want to ensure that both of our assets are split 50-50. It's UPDAT. First and foremost, many thanks to everyone for their messages and support here. So I confronted my wife 2 days ago. She was hesitant at first, but as I pressed her with some small information, she gradually began to tell the truth. Everything came out of her after approximately 4 hours of talking. It was just physical X amount of times, and they haven't done anything in a year due to her guilt. She was never going to tell me, but she felt guilty, which is why she never pursued it further. I believe I received all of the necessary responses. The next day I contacted the AP's GF about it, and she questioned the AP as well. And it appears that the facts match regarding the previous time they did anything. She dumped the AP while their relationship was just a year old. I also contacted the AP from my wife's phone and instructed him not to contact her. My wife has been sorry since that episode, apologizing every few hours and asking for one final chance to make things right. She realizes she messed up big time and there is no excuse for it, but she is willing to give her everything to make this marriage work if I give her a chance. She blocked him and has pledged never to speak to him again. I'm not sure what I want right now, but since we live together, I've been communicating with her on and off. Thank you for listening to the story to the end, and if you like it, please support us with a like as well as subscribe to our channel. Write in the comments what you think about the story.